Hello, all you positive heads out there. It's so good to be back with all you beautiful reflections of the one source consciousness that creates and animates all things. If you're new to this podcast, of course, we are super happy to have you here, and we just ask that you bring an open mind and heart to your listening experience and to be prepared to explore vantage points that I'm convinced will help shift or solidify your current understanding of the ultimate nature of reality. While listening, you'll be exposed to inspiring, empowering, and unifying perspectives that I'm highly confident will yield stellar results in your life if you opt to try them on for size. Also, at optimistic.tv, we have officially begun releasing the first few episodes of our new late-night style, consciousness-elevating video variety talk show, Optimistic, which features live visionary art, soul share interviews, retreat guests here at the Mystic Manor, as well as live musical performances. I'm also super excited to announce that we are currently making plans to release the rest of Season 1 on my personal favorite online streaming service. So stay tuned to optimistic.tv to follow the unfolding development of this exciting Optimistic expansion, as we'll be posting more info and release dates there soon. And in the meantime, be sure to check out, of course, the first few episodes at optimistic.tv as well.
All right, all you positive heads, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me today. And you guys, this is a special day. I'm really excited. I have two of my most favorite P-heads with me today, Jairo and Laura. And they just came to see me for QHHT sessions. And they are so gracious to come on the show and share their experience. So thank you guys so much for joining me. I so appreciate you so much. And I just love you so.
Thank you. We
Welcome.
appreciate you so much. Oh my God, it's incredible. Just to see you back in person again.
Just to see you again. I already knew that was going to happen.
It was worth the whole trip.
I might cry, but
I love seeing both of your faces so much. You guys, these two are such shiny light beings. I can't even tell you how much I love them. So first question I have for both of you, and Laura, ladies first, what you can answer first if you'd like. What was the reason why you wanted to have a session in the first place?
Assurance.
Mm-hmm.
Assurance for everything that I was already questioning, that was already lining up for me. And just to get that reassurance that I was on the right path, I'm exactly where I need to be, and everything's exactly happening the way it should be.
Mm-hmm. And did you get that?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely got that and much more.
Good.
Yeah.
Jairo, how about you? Why did you want to do it?
Oh, to be honest with you, it was curiosity for me. I'm a very curious person. And I was really interested to see what my higher self, right, in that perspective would actually have to tell me, or what it is that what we're all trying to figure out, right? Because we're all trying to make sure that we're on the right path, right? Reassurance kind of in a way, just to make sure, because I don't know, me personally, like I hear a lot of voices, just want to make sure it's the right voice I'm listening to. Right?
Yeah,
sure. Yeah. How to discern.
Yeah.
Yes. It's all about discernment for sure. But more curiosity for me than anything else, okay. I would say. And
so did you learn how to make those discernments in your session?
Oh, yes. I thought, well, the funny thing is like I realized that I've always been talking to my higher self in a way.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right? There wasn't I've always talked to myself, period. Like when I drive and I have a 45-minute drive to work every day. So I take that opportunity to listen to my podcast and to really just settle in and ground myself as my day progresses. So I talk to myself a lot during those times. So it's just a reassurance in that aspect.
Sure.
Me.
That's a really good practice too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And this is one of my favorite things about QHHT is that you get to learn what it is like to hear your higher self. And then you realize, oh, I've been doing this the whole time. This is my higher self. This is that voice that's with me all the time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was big. That was probably the biggest thing that I walked away from that. And every single synchronicity that I had after that was just reassuring that whole mindset for me.
Yes.
You guys both had those, huh?
Yes. Profoundly.
Tell me about some of them. Oh, I even know some of them that were just amazing right off the bat. Do you want to tell the first one that you know which one? The 11:11.
Oh yeah, well that's always been with me. Jeez, oh my God! The minute that we got done with our session,
that's right.
Because I brought a specific book with me because I was drawn to it, and I kind of wanted to talk to you about that for a little bit too, just that experience that I had with it. But even after we got done with our sessions, and then I decided to, because I had my session, the Saturday, and then Laura had her session. It was a big 4-hour session. So I decided to take my book and go sit underneath a tree and just finish reading where I left off in that book. And where I left off was exactly right where we had our conversation, was all about balance. My little bookmark even said it too. I even showed it to you the next day, and we read that little paragraph and everything. It was just so synchronistic. Just that experience alone, right? Just sealed it for me. I was like, all right, cool. Definitely going on the right journey. So I've had a lot more profound ones in that aspect, right? As the days and the weeks progressed for me, and they're still showing up. And that's the thing. It's about being able to slow down and actually being aware of what's going on in a way, right?
Oh yeah.
Accepting that and going, okay, there's something to that. And then going from there and really making that discernment for yourself in that.
Yes, absolutely. Very wise words.
Mm-hmm.
Laura, what kind of synchronicities have you been experiencing?
Well, I'm not gonna lie. I came back, and I shared with this title too. And we talked about this too, Erica. I've been thinking the same way for so many years. So it's gonna take me time to change that mind pattern, that thought pattern. So I came in and I got into my normal groove, and it's like everything kind of slowed down for me. And I started seeing everything I needed to see. And I saw my hawks, and it fucking reminded me everything I needed to see and more. So I had to tell you about this moment. So I was getting back into life, into the normal, and I'm really fast paced. I'm a personality A-list, so A type. So I have a checklist. I want so many things to accomplish. I want to have it done by 5:00, and I have so many things I need to take care of. But I'm trying to slow down. And I was at home, and I see hawks all the time, and I know it's a part of my higher self, and I know that's why I'm seeing that hawk now. So I'm at home, and I'm getting into and doing my normal thing, and all of a sudden I see these 2 hawks above me, and they're like, I hear them, and I don't see them in my apartments. Like, it's like kind of like abnormal for me to see them, and at least where I'm living in my apartment. You see me and when I'm driving to Reno or in the mountain areas, but not where I'm living at, and not that low. And they're to the point where they're like, they do their little screaming, they're howling. I'm like, oh my God, they're above me. And so it took me right back, and it reminded me exactly why I'm seeing that hawk, because I love myself. Everything's happening to me perfectly. I am beautiful, and it's going to be all okay. And I needed that reassurance to let me know that I was going to be okay. So I get in my car, and my daughter's with me, and I have a daughter. And so I'm getting in my car, and because I'm so fast paced, all of a sudden I see a hawk feather in my car, but I saw the hawks outside. And I recently absorbed a hawk feather, which is like a dream of mine, just to even get a hawk feather. But I got in my car, and there was this hawk feather. So now I have 2 of them. Wow. So I don't know. And I still don't know, but I'm not going to question it. Either it fell on me outside, and when I took off my coat, because it's still hot outside, I didn't have too much on, either somehow got in the inside of my car, which is not where I saw the hawks, but just to reassure me and get my mind changing again. Yeah. So I needed that reminder. So that was one moment that was truly magically and profound for me. And it was there to remind me, like, wake up, Laura, it's already here. You already have that reassurance. And it's all okay. So I'm just taking it day by day and knowing that for me particularly, it's a daily conscious effort to get to that. So I have to remind myself until I can get to that pattern where I'm not thinking it anymore. But I know that because I've been thinking this whole way for 30 years, it's going to take a little while for me to switch over. So I got to continue to love that, even if I'm not exactly where I want to be.
Oh my God, that is so absolutely true. It is a conscious daily effort. It is a constant practice. And even though you've sat in this session, your higher self told you adamantly and thoroughly, right? This is the deal. We come back into our human perspective and we get into those patterns and it's like, no, okay, wait, I'm going to remind myself now because I know my higher self told me this. And look at these beautiful reminders. And how did this even get here? Like
how did
obviously.
It get here? Yeah.
Yeah. I love that. Oh, thank you so much for sharing that.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Do either of you want to share about like what you actually experienced within the session, like any of the like places you went or things like that?
Sure. Well, for me, the great thing about like the whole experience for me was the whole sit down even before actually going down into it, right? Because oh my God, you get to sit there and just talk to you you're like my own little personal therapist at that point. I worked so much stuff out.
Yeah, me too.
I worked so much stuff out just before even going down and going into it, right? And
it's like, well, I don't need this anymore. That's how I felt too.
Part of it. It's a really big part of it. That's why we do that. That's why I take that time, and all QHHT practitioners take that time. It's so important to get to know you and understand you and know why we're here. You know?
No, exactly. That was great. Because for me, like I told you before, even before I went down, like I have a hard time visualizing things, right? And that's when you call me down, like, it's okay. Because I was skeptical, to say the least, that I could even be, put in that state of mind, right?
Because, you were.
How can I put this? I'm very high. Well, I'm so stubborn.
I get that.
Right?
Yeah.
There's a stubbornness about me that just might not let me do it. But for me, it was all about a feeling. And that's what I'm trying to understand now, that this is why I'm here. I'm not here to see, I'm here to feel and to understand what that feeling's all about, because that's what experience in life is. It's a feeling of emotion, right? Emotion is energy and movement, but always in flux, right? So it's not like we can pinpoint it and go like, no, this is how it is. It's a feeling. It's a different feeling for everybody, right?
Absolutely.
It's trying to understand that within yourself and trying to move forward in that. So for me, it was I went back to a state of feeling. I needed to feel for me to, because what truly happens is that our higher self is going to give us an image or a perspective of what needs to happen. It's going to be best in this timeline, right, where we're at right now. And for me, it wasn't a visual thing. It was a feeling. I need to feel more, right? I need to open up my feelings more. And that's what it was. Mm-hmm. For me, and going back and listening to tapes, it really like hit me. It was just like, okay, you were expressing your own heart right there, what you're trying to feel with your heart. Like what I was experiencing was an expansion of closing off, me circling myself around a spear, trying to protect my heart center, while my heart was trying to expand and feel. But I was trying to be there, like at a protected state, putting walls up, right? Until those walls started to fall apart. And then that's when I started to kind of come out of that and feel like a sense of lightness, right? And as soon as I felt like you feel that weight coming off of you, and then you can feel yourself expanding, growing, and truly, truly experiencing life is what I felt. And the beauty about that, right, is when I came back, because I'm getting back to working out with my buddies, because I'm not going to let this whole COVID thing hold me back at all. Right. So I'm going to go out and I'm going to experience my friends, my buddies, everybody who I'm here to really interact with, right? That's what life is. Life is an interaction experience, at least for me. Mm-hmm. So I went back and I had our little workout session, and then we're sitting there talking, and his wife comes in just to have a sit down and talk, and I just go off and start talking about crystals, water, this and that with her, right? And I'm just free at that point. I'm just like, I don't have no gives or no fucks about it, right? Like, who cares?
I love it.
Right. So I'm talking. And then you can kind of sense when people are grasping, holding on to things. Right. So I just let that be. I let that energy just kind of flow. And when I left and I'm going home, like, I felt this lightness just come all over me. Like, yes, this is your higher self. This is what you are. This is what you've always been. Right. You expressing yourself and you telling yourself this and you expressing yourself to others is part of recognizing who you are always. And on that drive home, like, I just felt so lifted, so high. Like, I can't explain. It's the same way I felt in the session. The freeness in that session, when you kind of feel free, is how I felt during that moment. Right. And I'm trying to hold on to that. I'm going to rephrase. I'm holding on to that.
Yes.
Moment from now on. Right. Yeah. It's not a trying, or you just do it.
Yeah. Cause you feel it, you see it, you see the reality of it.
Yes.
Right. You experienced it. And now that's just like, well, okay, now it's obvious.
It is. It's very, very obvious. It's all about, for me, at least, it's about, because I even told you, it's like, I feel like I have a lot to say, right? But I'm not sure how to say it. But now I just understand I just got to say it. I don't care who.
Yes.
I just got to get it out there.
Wow.
He's so much better at that than he thinks he is. That's me. I can't communicate. He can.
Oh, yes, you can. You absolutely can. So how can we rephrase that one?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So how about you? What was your experience like, if you want to share any of that?
Probably one of my profound Jairo has more people interactions than I do. It's different. I'm me 8 to 5. I have people around me all day, every day. I come home and it's a lot more quieter for me. I either have my daughter or Jairo I hang out with, or just some, but typically not a lot of people around me. I'm trying to learn how to develop a different relationship with my daughter, because she's growing up. She's spending more time with her dad. And so I talked to her about she knows about me going to Venice and going to the Mystic Manor. And she actually told me, Erica, and I don't think I even showed it. We're sitting there and I took her to lunch because she's doing so good in school. And I said, and she knows that one of the reasons I went to Venice was obviously Jairo somewhat made that happen. Yeah. And so she told me, she goes, and she's a lot smarter than I know she is. She said, Mom, you wouldn't be where you would be at if you hadn't gone to Venice. This is the 11-year-old telling me that. She's already seen that change in me. So we go to lunch and we're doing it. And I told her why I went to Arizona. And I told her why I went to see you. And I start talking about you. And one of the things, and one of the reasons I went to go see you is I already knew 85% of me knew I was already an empath, and I feel everything around me. But it's a lot to take in, and along with everything else that I'm feeling, and trying to discern the two. And so I started talking to my daughter about being an empath, and I already see it in her, Erica. And so and she's so cute. Kids are so smart, and I shouldn't question this, but I have been. She's like, empath. And she gets on her cell phone. She goes on TikTok, because this is what kids do. Uh-huh. She's reading all the things that an empath, and she's crying. And I'm crying because I can see, before people can talk, I can feel. Mm-hmm. So it took off a weight off her shoulders. It's everything she's been feeling and some. And so I'm like, so then we get to talk about it. So now I got to talk to her about how I grew up, how I was loved, and how my love is different to her. And now the best part is I get to be that person for her. that person I didn't have, and to reassure her that it's okay to feel everything and you're not crazy. Everything else that you're feeling around you, you're just feeling all these energies, and you just have to learn how to discern the two and separate it. And so we got into talking about crystals, and I have crystals at home. And crystals, it's like crystals are reminding me that they're tools that I need. And so I laid them all out, and I got my daughter picked out her favorite crystal. So I'm feeling better because I've let that go. I'm giving her the tools, and also providing myself. And so that was, to me, one of my profound moments since the session, and having that conversation with my daughter. And even though she was 11 and I was questioning, maybe she didn't, the minute I told her, it clicked. And it's like it took off a weight off of her shoulder. Now she understands why she feels the way she feels, and we get to talk about it. And if anything, she's going to be way more powerful than I am.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. These kids, they come to teach us, don't they?
Yes.
She is so lucky to have a mom like you. And I love this story is so beautiful because not only did you get healing, but now your daughter gets to have that benefit as well.
Yes.
Like this healing moves throughout generations. It is the most beautiful thing to see.
Yeah. And to tell her, Erica, I don't know everything that I've experienced with my mom, and regardless of anybody who's experienced any trauma with their mom, you are not responsible for anybody's happiness. And you instilling that in me, I still cry about it because it's so true. And it's taken a lot of weight off my shoulder because I take everybody's happiness on me. And I want everybody to feel happiness and everybody to feel just pure love. That's all I want people to feel around me. And so it was very perfect. It was profound.
That is the life of an empath right there. Just wanting everyone to be happy and burdening it and putting it on your shoulders. And you think it's your responsibility.
Yeah.
But when you realize it's not, life gets a lot lighter.
Yes, it does so much lighter. I'm like, and if you need 2 days by yourself, like, that's what it means. So like,
yeah.
And I'm learning that, like, I just have to learn to express and communicate and not be afraid to say, like, hey, it's nothing personal. Like, I just needed 2 days by myself. And that's what I need to do to regroup. And I just have to learn how to speak up and express that more.
Good, healthy boundaries. Yeah.
Before we continue on with today's episode, I'd like to take a quick moment to tell you about our new sponsor, NOOM. I agreed to do this promo spot because I am super impressed with the futuristic and simple process that NOOM has implemented to revolutionize diet and wellness. NOOM is the unique, habit-changing solution that helps users learn to develop a new relationship with food. And it's not a diet. No food is good or bad. As we talk about on the show all the time, it's all about proper balance and having good habits. And NOOM just teaches you how to look inside your own mind and make better decisions for yourself. Sounds familiar, right? It's based in psychology, so I'm personally really excited about starting to use it to understand my own thought patterns better. And they make it super easy to do with a minimal commitment of only 10 minutes a day, which is essential for someone like me with so much on my plate. No pun intended. So if you'd like to take the journey with me and sign up for a trial, head over to noom.com/positivehead to start your trial today. That's spelled NOOM.com/positivehead. I mean, what do you have to lose except outdated habits and perhaps a few extra pounds by signing up for the trial? Once again, NOOM.com/positivehead.
And so, Jairo, you said, so most of your session, you felt a lot and you didn't do a lot of seeing. Yes. Laura, you saw.
Yeah, I saw
quite a bit more.
I saw a lot. Yeah, I actually started talking to Jairo about the profound moment when I saw my grandma in my session, and knowing that I'm going to help her pass. And I know it. I already know it. And she has COVID. And I think I had shared that with you. And she's still healing. And it's just she's going to get past this. The bigger is coming, but that I learned that I saw when she passes, and it took me to her death. But I also know that I'm there to help her let go. And that it's going to happen exactly when it needs to happen. And she is a big part of my life, but I'm going to be ready. And I think it's because I have been thinking about it and a bit afraid of it. And that's why it took me there, but it's going to be perfect. And once she passes, I know she'll be exactly where she needs to be. She'll be happy, and a piece of her will still be here with me. Yeah.
That's such a beautiful piece of peace that you were given.
Yeah.
It's really nice to be able to have that kind of preparation too, I feel like.
Yeah. That you said, I saw more of what I was feeling. Yeah. I'm more of a feeler. It took me to places of feeling of confidence, feeling love, feeling beautiful. Feeling magic.
Like, you're all those. You're believing yourself.
Feeling everything that I already fucking have in me.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. And so thank you, Erica, for that. Thank you to my higher self.
Exactly. I was just going to say, thank you.
Thank you to my higher self.
And you, because you're the one who allowed this to happen. Like 90% of what happens in a session is totally up to you. And so this was all about you, and this is why I love this technique so much, because this.
Yeah. And once I learned that, this is why, Dolores Cannon can't come through me anymore. If I can see her face one more time.
She just keeps showing up, doesn't she?
Wait till I show you how I have some really good pictures of my grandma's mom, and they all look like her. Everybody resembles Dolores Cannon. And I know that everybody's here to experience, but there is a true, deep, profound in me. If I could help one individual relieve something that I was feeling, that's all I would like. I just want, I want to help others. And I know I truly got that calling now. And so I've been reading my 3 waves. The book came in.
Nice.
And she's coming in everywhere. And so I'm going to continue my path on that journey and explore more. And, because I know I love to help and I love to feel. So I want to, along with teaching myself and my daughter, anybody else who can get a piece of that healing and assurance, and because it's in all of us.
Oh yeah.
In all of us.
Mm-hmm. Well, you are like the perfect recipe for a QHHT practitioner. So I would love to see you join our family when the time is right for you.
Yes.
That is exactly what a QHHT practitioner is. Someone who wants to help and just has a loving heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A huge loving heart.
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am. Oh, I love you so.
I love you too, Erica.
So you guys, I actually want to backtrack a bit because you had mentioned it, but I want you to tell the story of how you all got to the Mystic Manor, like how that all went down and how we met, because I love this story. I think it's such a beautiful story.
Wow. Well, it kind of starts with me, right? So the whole thing about the whole Mystic Manor was
you've heard about it.
I've been listening to Positive Head for quite a while.
Time.
And
he introduced me to it.
A lot of different podcasts too, because I like hearing people's opinions, right? Mm-hmm. I truly believe that we have something to teach everybody, and we have something to learn from everybody else. It depends how open minded you are and accepting of that, right? Sooner or later, someone's going to tell you something, whether you agree with it or not. You'll turn back and go, "Holy shit, that motherfucker had a good point," right? But it's how we take it and when we take it and how we take it during that time. We're all perfect, like Brandon says, in the moment that we're all right. We are where we need to be. And that's very, very true. Anyhow, so my whole thing was when he first started talking about the Mystic Manor, I was like, oh, yeah, I'm definitely curious. I'm going to send out a text. Boom, boom, boom. I sent him an email. And the funny thing is, I never got a response back. The funny thing about emails, especially with me, for some reason, shit gets lost. Stuff doesn't work. Some stuff works.
It happens to me too. I totally get it.
Right. Anyhow, apparently he had responded and it got lost somewhere in translation. And then just go and behold, like he's talking about like, hey, we got some discounts going on. And I got a text from his son, which was the funniest thing, right?
Oh, yeah.
And it was during a time when because work for me, I'm very, very passionate about what I do. Like it's kind of like an expression of who I am in a sense, right? Mm-hmm. So during this 1 week, this one person was just basically like, it took me off balance, right? Like in hindsight, the more I thought about, the more I reflected on it. Like, yeah, I could have acted in different ways to really just balance that out for myself, right? But anyhow, long story short, like I was still kind of just upset because it takes me at least a good 2 weeks for me to actually think things through.
2 weeks? I was going to think in 2 hours.
No,
now I know.
It does. 2 weeks.
Thanks for letting me know. Yeah.
It does. It's a process for me. I have to think it out. I have to walk it through. So anyhow, in those 2 weeks, I'm like, all right, I just got to get out of here, right? So my whole mindset was, boom, I got to get out of here, right? I got to get out of here. And then I'm looking at this thing because I'm a Leo. And there was this one just random thing that came on my email, right? Okay, Mystic Manor. Leo's holding a full moon Akashic record in Leo, right? Fuck yeah, I'm down. Boom. Nothing else said, right? I just got to get out of here. I booked it. I was like, and I called, hey, you want to go? Boom, boom. Okay, yeah. She was down to go. So that was all said and done. And literally the next day, I got the text from Brandon's son. Well, hey, we got this thing going on during the week of when I was going to go down there anyway. So I was like, to be honest with you, man, I'm already going down there. This, and this. He's like, okay, well, this is the price because I ended up talking to Brandon. Right. So I talked to Brandon over the phone. He's like, well, this is. I'm like, okay, let me figure something out. Let me talk to somebody real quick and then I will let you know. So I literally hang up with Brandon and I call her. Hey, do you want to go to the Mystic Manor? She's like, yeah. I'm like, okay. Are you sure you're down? She's like, yeah. Can you make it work out? Because, she has a kid, she has work and all this. This was like a week before it needs to happen. Like not even a week. This is Friday.
This is Friday. And you're going to fly out Sunday to be there Monday.
Right? So I'm like, are you game? Are you this is that? And she said yes. As soon as she told me yes, I was like, fuck it. So I called Brandon. I'm like, hey, Brandon, like, I can't because that was really too close for me to say anything, especially with what I do. I got to at least give like the 2-3 week notice before I just take off. Right. So I'm like, all right, this and this is happening. But I want to gift it to Laura because my whole intention before this whole thing, like I wasn't going to go out there without Laura anyways. And I even told Brendan, I was like, well, my true intention wasn't for me. It's never been for me because I've always felt like I've always been very grounded as a person. Like I don't think there's much, I need to experience stuff, but there's not much I could be told to do, right? That's just the stubbornness in me, right? So I'm like, I'm going to gift it to Laura, but she needs it more because I understand wants and I understand needs. I want to go down there, but that's not a need for me to go down there. Mm-hmm. It's more of a need for her to experience that than it was for me. So that was my choice. I said, you know what, Brandon, I want to do this, but I want to gift it to her. But I need you to call her, and I need you to explain that to her. And he ended up doing that. So boom, it all ended up working out. And then when I get down there anyways, because I'm going down there on Saturday anyways, and lo and behold, you show up. And it was like, wow, what else?
That was so beautiful. I got to meet you guys there.
Well, to be honest with you, the only reason I thought about that was because it was your birthday.
And the Conscious Expo, wasn't it?
You were saying like, hey, It's my birthday. I want you guys to do something for somebody else, is what you had relayed in your pod. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this for Laura then. And that was my whole intention behind it. And then, like, I didn't even think you were going to be there. And then you're there. I go on Saturday and I see you. I'm like, holy shit. And then when I see you, so I felt like I already known you for so long too. So it's just like nothing. It's just like,
yeah. Oh my goodness. I love that so much. That is the most beautiful story. It's so sweet of you.
And that's what Leah said too. Leah's like, wait, you're at this sound bath because somebody gifted you this trip and you would have never. And then obviously when she got to learn me a little bit more, yeah, you would have never done this for yourself. And
right. I mean, that's just so beautiful. Thank you so much for doing this.
Well, that's what life's about, right?
Yeah.
I believe that life's about just not about us, right? It's about everybody else around us, because we can control. We have that choice. That's what free will is, right? Is our choice to decide on how we're going to wake up every morning and how we're going to walk this path that we're walking, right? We all have, there's that whole, so the two wolves that live inside our heart, right? We choose which wolf we want to feed. And we all fall. We all got to jump back on the wagon, right? It doesn't matter who the hell it is. We're all going to go move one step backward, but hopefully 2 steps forward, right? Mm-hmm. That's what life is, and that's what experience is for me. Mm. So I was like, for me, it was like I kind of needed her to kind of just get that out there and just feel what that is for herself.
And it was like a domino.
Oh, yeah.
A beautiful domino.
Yeah.
That's how it is.
Well, it just goes to show you how one kind act can go so far. Overall, what would you say that was the overall benefit that you received from doing this?
A sense of knowing that that my higher self is a part of me, regardless of whatever happens. No matter what I do, that I am always one. And that's all I ever needed to know, honestly. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, that was the greatest. That was, like I told you before, I talk to myself a lot. And for me, like I even told you this like during our session, it's just like a reassurance that I ain't crazy, right? Because I'm old.
Yep.
That's all it is. It's just a reassurance of yourself to know, like, the little voice that you hear, it's a little devil and the angel on your shoulders, right? It's your consciousness talking to you all the time. You know what's right and wrong. No one needs to fucking tell you what's right and wrong. Mm-hmm. Right? We don't need those certain laws. Society tries to create those certain laws. Is, that's what society is, right? You got to give something up to be able to be part of the society, supposedly, right? Mm-hmm. But we all know what's right and wrong. It's innately in our hearts. And that was the biggest reassurance that I got, that yes, what I'm thinking is true. Even those negative thoughts that I keep coming up, they're there for a reason. I got to work through those thoughts for myself. That's it. That's basically what... No, that's all I got.
Yeah, I know. I love it. Excellent. Good. Because, what else do you really need in life but that assurance that your higher self is always with you, always guiding you, and that you're one with it all? I mean, if I wanted to learn anything in this life, those would probably be my 2 things that I would want to learn, because those are the things that carry me personally, would carry me through. You know?
Oh, yeah.
And I think carry most people through. It's those 2 things that are just the tools we need to get through in this life. Yeah. How about you, my dear?
For somebody who has anybody who's like me, who's either been not trusting, believing, pretty heartbroken, just to learn that, to trust and believe within me. I've been putting my trust out there and putting it out there for everybody else, and whatever happened, and I let it eat me up in whatever way it needed to be. But knowing that I needed to find that in myself and that I had it in myself was the best part. And that's what I told my daughter. And that's what, just like how I talk about, our lives are completely different, is that, but I have it still in me that I don't need that reassurance from anybody else. I want to find that within me. And that's what I got out of it is trust and believe. And so, like, I'm still learning because I've been thinking this way for so many years, and I had to tell myself that it's going to take some time, but it's a daily conscious effort for me to get to where I'm at, and that I know, and to believe and trust that everything that I have is already within me, whether that's me by myself in the cave. I'm going to fucking be just fucking fine.
Yes.
It's going to be okay. But just trusting and believing, because I didn't know I could do that with myself. Honestly, I didn't know I could do that with myself. And learning that I could do that with myself was pretty fucking powerful. So that's why I want to teach it out. I'm here to experience, but I know there's a lot more Lauras out there. And there's a lot Laura. And it breaks my heart to know anybody would feel that way. And I don't want anybody to feel that way. And if I could get relief, anybody else can. And that's why it's possible. That's why I know I'm going to learn how to do QHHT sessions.
Yes.
And I'm going to rock it. And I'm going to be able to help others. Even if it's something I do on the side, I have to do it. I know that's what I'm meant to do because, other people can get to that state as well. Even though I'm learning to get there, me teaching and healing other people will help me get there along the same path.
Wow. Very, very powerful healing.
Yeah.
And let me ask you, are you listening to your session recording?
I am. Because
that's a great tool.
So it's very unique. It's almost, it's a lot for me to take in when I listen to it. So what I did is I listened to half of it and I took it in. Whatever needed to come out. And then I listened to the second half of it, and then more synchronicities, more profound moments. So now I know why you said you need to listen to it within the first 3 weeks because it's easy. It's really easy. Like for me, I mean, him and I are different level. Really easy for me to go back into like normal life. Like, no, I don't want that. I'm going to make my new norm and to get into that. Here's my 8 to 5 job. Here's what I have to do. No, fuck that. Like, I make it to what I want to be. Even if it's 8 to 5, I'm going to start with meditation. I'm going to paint how I want to paint the day. I love nature. I'm going to sit in 20 minutes of the sun. So I'm just practicing my spiritual practices to keep that fire lit within myself.
Yes. Yeah. Good. And listening to your session all the time is that reminder. You hear yourself tell yourself and you're like, oh yeah. Right. And then the feeling comes back, right? Because you guys, when you listen back to your session, are you either seeing or feeling again the same thing you were in the session?
Yeah.
No, for me, when I listened back to it, I got a different perspective of what I was basically just trying to tell myself something, right? In a different way. For me, it was all about what I gained out of it when I listened to it again was expanding my heart space is what I was talking about. That whole experience of me growing, expanding, letting go was me just trying to get rid of those blocks that I've put up for so many years about how I accept love. I know I give a lot of love, but my love is, I express it and give it differently than a lot of other people will. And that's how I have to accept that. I have to accept that just knowing that that's me. Like, I don't want anybody else to show me any different, right? It's basically what I got out of it, right? It's an expression of oneself, one's love.
I mean, to be able to tear down walls in your heart, remove those blockages, open your heart, life-changing. That right there is also healing. Healing comes in so many different ways.
Yeah. That's why I told Jairo, he's not on social media. I did that post and podcast. I don't talk a lot. I don't express a lot. I don't do a lot in the opposite of him. So I didn't know what I was going to say, but I wanted people to know that there is a fucking light. Like I kept thinking about so many days, what I was going to post, what I was going to say, but I just needed to say that just do it. Don't question it. I was excited about the 4 people. I know, so I'm sure hopefully people will reach out to you only because I want that somebody else to experience that relief that I did. Only because like, I don't want anybody else to question it. I don't know what their circumstances are. I know what my circumstances are, but if anybody could get a little piece of what I got out of with you, profound. And just like Jairo said, before I even went into this session, Erica, that beautiful, remarkulous time that you spent with us, you were crying, and I told Jairo, I don't know if you were feeling what I was feeling. I don't know why it was so emotional for me, and I don't know if it was for her. We haven't talked too much about our sessions. Clearly.
I was wondering. I'm like, I think you guys are learning about things right now.
We're learning now. We haven't really truly.
Life is right. Life is like just kind of go with the flow, right? That's what it's about.
Yeah.
They're personal. They come up when they're supposed to.
Yeah, they'll come up when they're supposed to. I didn't know what I was supposed to tell him.
Like, I'm not going to try and just like throw all of my stuff on the people, right? Like, I understand. So my baggage is my own baggage to deal with. If there's something that reflects and something that has to deal with it, yeah, I'll express it. But
yeah.
At the end of the day, I'm an open book. I don't think I won't ever shy away from anybody wanting me to speak my truth, right? And that's the biggest example that I can give anybody. Just be honest towards everybody else with who you are, right? Who cares if you're talking about crystals? Who cares if you're talking about this? Just talk about what's in your heart. If that person accepts it, they accept it. If they don't, they don't. That's all it is. It's just you letting it out. That's all it is.
You were an amazing facilitator. I have to say, Erica, so Kristen, who I went to the Mystic Manor with, she was one of the guests, and she grew up. So I actually just talked to her and Erica 2 days. Was it yesterday or the night before? I was like, guess who I'm doing a podcast? And they're like, Erica's both of them, Kristen and Alicia, are huge fans of yours. But when I told them that I was going to be doing the podcast with you, Kristen, Alicia and I met at the Mystic Manor, and we still have a profound connection.
Like, I wouldn't have had that connection. That was her connection to have. Like, I would have just been like, I'm going to do my own thing.
Okay, so she was here. We're actually in Lake Tahoe right now doing this podcast. So to me, that's even more magical because that's where I pictured a lot of my higher experiences and around pine trees. And here we are, both of us.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. And so I talked to Kristen the other day, and one of shout out to Sam Lotus, huge person in my life also. We did a stargazing or like an eye gazing experience, Kristen and I. And I remember Kristen just took the breath out of her air. Like, she couldn't breathe. She felt, it was almost like she was feeling everything that I was feeling in my heart. And it was a very profound moment for both of us. For her, probably more sadness, hurt, feel like she got to feel what I was feeling. To me, I was like, no, I don't want you to feel that, but thank you for feeling that for a minute. But I have to say, I had that moment with you in my session when I don't know why you cried or why I felt that I had that connection with you, but thank you for making me feel that way, because I felt that way. I felt that you felt everything I was feeling before I even went in. And I don't get to have that feeling a lot. And so thank you, Erica, so much, so much. I think about that a lot. And I'm so grateful for your love and your facilitation, taking me to where I needed to go, even though it was already in me. I'm forever grateful. I'm forever grateful when I was in the car and Brandon and Jeep going on our way to our hike, and Kristen is like, Erica at Middle Miss? If we heard your voice, she's going to be
on the phone. I'm on the speaker.
You're going. I texted you. I was like, Erica's going to be at the house tonight. And there we are sharing the same bathroom that night. And I remember we came home from the reggae concert.
Yep.
We went back. We got to connect with you for a little bit, and it was awesome. You actually got to see some of my healing right before your eyes.
Yes,
I had
it was amazing.
4-hour massage with Ken. I got to see Leah right before that, and you met Jairo that morning.
Yes,
I think. Yes, we got coffee and creamer for her. Oh my God!
Because I woke up at the Mystic Manor, and I was like, "Where's the coffee?"
Yeah,
well, that's the beautiful thing about that.
She didn't like the tea. She didn't want.
I need cream.
That's what I told her. I was like, I don't think I could do that whole veggie thing for the whole week. That was definitely taken off.
I love good vegan meals, but there's certain things that, I can't replace the cream. It's just a little silly thing of mine, but yes. Wow.
I'm so glad
experiences were so amazing. And it was so wonderful to be able to hang out with you.
Yeah.
It was so nice.
About the place too.
And everybody could have waited to meet him. They're like, who's the guy that sent you here?
Exactly.
Leah?
Yeah.
Sam, by the time he arrived on, who is he?
It doesn't matter.
So sweet. Oh my goodness. You guys are so sweet. And thank you for making my, this is why I do what I do. Because so I can help people to feel exactly the way that you both just described, because I know it's in you. I know it's in each and every one of us, and it just takes a little guidance and a little shutting up of your conscious mind in order to help you realize it,
There's just
makes my work so beautiful. Yeah. Thank you.
There's just kind of like this feeling of knowing that just overcomes you when you know you're in the right place.
Yeah.
It's undescribable because it's something like I can't describe. It's a feeling that is just like you're a little lighter, you're a little more bouncier in your step, right? As you're walking through it. And as you're going through it, like you feel a feeling of just boom, you're there. And I don't think I maybe with a little bit of time, I would have got to that space, but going through that session with you definitely helped me enhance and maybe you go like 2-3 steps forward and to get to that spot, right? Mm-hmm. To get to that place it's just worth it altogether. Like that's all you really need is just that reassurance, that feeling. Like I said, it goes back to a feeling. For me, it always goes back to a feeling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I feel like it's just such a priceless thing to have that feeling and that understanding. Yeah. It's all we need to go through life. Yeah.
Like it's easy to feel at ease, to feel blissful, to feel this, to feel that, right? It's easy to tell people how to feel, right? But until they actually feel that and know what that truly is it's undescribable for everybody. They're going to have a different way to describe it than I will.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing about those feelings is, you can't make those feelings up.
Right.
You can't. Like a lot of people will think, oh, I'm seeing this. I don't know what it is. I don't know. I'm making this up. I can't make up this emotion.
Right.
There's no making up this feeling. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why I think it was so big for me to feel, not to see, right?
Interesting.
We get it how we're supposed to.
It's so opposite.
Yeah. But just how we're supposed to.
I'm supposed to. Yeah.
You're already a feeler. So.
I'm already a feeling. Yeah.
Right.
You needed to. Yeah.
So what's beautiful about this too is that your higher self, they give you things in almost layers, so years from now, you can go back and listen to your recording. And I advise.
I know you just did that recently with yours.
Yeah. Well, guess what? When I do that, I still, like, just the other day, I was like, oh my God, I had a revelation from that. Well, my higher self knows how to like put these things in layers in my sessions where I'll just kind of let that one thing I heard kind of go over my head a little bit because it's not relevant for the time. But 2-3 years later, oh, now it's relevant. Now I get it. Right. So it's interesting. Yeah. You can already tell, like there's layers in there. Well, you will start to understand more and more. Mm-hmm.
Like a couple of years ago, I started drawing out this a tattoo that I really want to get, right? And I've been maybe thinking about this tattoo maybe 10, 15 years now plus. And I showed Laura this too. Like remember when I showed you all my tattoos? And like everything that I wrote down is what's coming up for me right now. Mm. Like I went back, like this is 10 years ago. I'm looking back, it's like, holy shit, like this is exactly what I'm talking and what's really like pushing towards me. Like this is what matters for me right now. And is what I was reading 10 years ago. So fuck, man, almost 10 years ago, I was already having these kind of thoughts and perceptions, right? But we're not ready at that time. We're ready when we're ready, right? We're perfect and we're ready when we're ready. That's all it is. We got to be able to accept that fact.
That's totally what it is. And it's like, that's your higher self always telling you.
That's what your higher self
telling you, constantly telling you. And you just weren't ready to hear it yet, you know? Yeah, but they're there. They're constantly there telling you. Oh, I love that. That's so beautiful. That I think is a really good note to end on, because I think that that's a really good point, you know, that our higher self is always with us, always telling us. It's all within us.
It is.
It depends whether we want to slow down and listen to those cues, right?
Yeah. You know what? That's
right.
It is about slowing down and listening.
Yes, and I find myself doing this all the time. I don't know if it's because post session I tell Jairo, like,
you know, I'm like, I've been telling her to slow down.
Yeah, I know. Clearly, totally opposite. But like, I'm in traffic. Like when I get to a stop sign, I'm like, oh, it's a moment to slow down. Let's breathe. Like simple things like that. But and I'm very proud of myself because I find myself taking that moment to take that breath in. All the time, whether I'm working out or whatever I'm doing, I'm like, let's breathe. And it's perfect. It's perfect.
That is such a beautiful reminder. You guys, thank you so much for joining me. I so appreciate you for
Erica
sharing your open hearts and your experiences. And I'm just very, very, very grateful to have you join me today.
We're grateful as well.
So I've already played this song before, but I think that I'm going to have to play it again. This is Knocko and Medicine for the People. Slow down.
Slow down. Fabulous.
You have to. Until next time, everyone.
Thank you again.
I love you guys so, and I love you all. Till next time.
And if you're feeling the call to come for a week retreat-style Mystic Manor immersion, remember to go now and book your time to speak with me directly about stepping into the optimistic vortex at calendly.com/talk with Brandon while there are still spots left. Otherwise, I look forward to co-creating magic with you at the Mystic Manor.
It's been a long time coming round and smoothing out the edges and slowing down and listening. What is important? What is your focus? Don't you go and stumble now. Are you listening? Horse tail, we can heal it all with blend medicine, body, mind, and spirit. Cry in a broth for a feverish head. Now I am no stranger to loneliness. Are you struggling? Sweeter than lavender years in the making. Drink it up. It's your nature, but I'm struggling. Coping with all of it to hell with alignment. Clearly I am no good at this. Who's even listening? Take it all on, I can know what you're doing. Trying not to lose yourself out there. Are you listening? Horse tail, we can heal it all with the medicine. Body, mind, and spirit crying. Slow down, slow down, slow down. La da 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 da